Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Rag Company podcast where I'm your host, Dane Anthony, and to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Dane?
Yes.
What is going on with our camera?
It's we're a little tilty.
We're a little tilty. It looks like I have like a shrinking effect over here.
That's all right. I think it's because the camera got a little adjusted while we were away, but that's all right.
That's okay. You know, hey, it is
we
what
will
it is.
handle that later.
We will handle that later.
Speaking of things being handled later, we can't just like put a Tupac hologram here of Levi, but Levi is feeling sick today, so shout out to Levi.
So, poor guy. He just said he was having some congestion, right?
Yeah.
And this morning he had a little bit of a fever. Nothing crazy, just a little bit higher than normal.
Yeah.
So he just said that he just wanted to play it safe, right? Stay home, which of course is good.
We appreciate that. But we also feel bad not having him here on the podcast. So.
I know. He does add a good vibe to what we do here. But, the good news is that, you're not alone, Dane.
Right.
You have me, right?
Oh, good.
To carry on this conversation.
Nobody knows how to send us down a weird tangent quite like you do.
Thanks, Dane. I appreciate that. I'm gonna make this as weird as possible today.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So some housekeeping to get this started.
Yeah, let's do that.
If you guys are signed up for the Rag Company newsletter, right, also known as the details at theragcompany.com, then you should know that this morning you received an email going over our mystery bag sale for St. Patrick's Day.
I'm sorry, could you scoot a little closer as you say that so we get lined up on the screen there? But yes, very helpful information. Keep it going.
Our Lucky Sevens sale day. And that's what I've been trying to say this entire time.
Lucky.
Let's talk about it. And so
Lucky.
This, obviously, we haven't had a mystery bag in quite some time. It's been several months. And so we wanted to bring that back, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we came in at a singular price point of $77.77.
Okay.
I thought that made the most sense, right? Sevens?
I mean, it's also kind of a
Crank the lever.
thriller horror film, but yes.
Yeah, right. And so there's multiple mystery bag options, obviously. So if you wanted to pick up more than one, you absolutely can, and you are going to get different products, right, within every bag. And it's going to have a good combination of everything, right? Everything from chemicals to accessories to towels. I think you guys are really going to like this. Trust me. It's going to be good. So this is going to be running from now until, I believe, the end of St. Patrick's Day. And that's it. Cutting it off.
You're just ending it right there.
I think so. Today's the 15th, right? We're at the 15th, 16th, 17th. Yeah, 3 days technically.
Okay.
So,
well, cool.
So
Take
something to
advantage while
check
you
out.
can.
Yeah. And then also, right, on that, this is going to become more common, what I'm about to do right now.
Oh, okay.
TRCMA.
There it is.
Fast approaching. It's coming.
Like
quick.
real fast.
It's like very quick to where everything we've procrastinated on is catching up with us this week. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, Dane, TRCMA, what are the dates?
Whew. All right. So, fellas, ladies, everybody in between, kids, pets, whatever, grandparents, everybody should check out TRCMA. If you have the remotest interest in detailing or in vehicles.
You don't know the dates.
And I'm messing with you. I know it's the 28th through the 1st,
Okay.
but I was having fun laying it out as to what it is. I'm fully aware that yes, we go Monday, clear through Friday. So it's a whole week of absolute TRC goodness, and not just TRC, but all the friends of TRC.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the big pull there. So if you're not familiar with what TRCMA is, or TRCMA as some people like to call it, myself included, you need to go watch the one from 2020. There was no 2021 because it kind of fell into a weird gap and, things were crazy. But there's TRCMA 2020. You can go and watch those. We have several of our fellow business detailing folks, friends, doing live performances like they're music artists or something, but the reality is like they're live demos and anything could happen. But
anything.
It's fun. And if I recall, like when they're doing the Rupa stuff, Charlie Hutton showed up. Like that was super cool.
Yeah,
and it's a great time. So there's a lot of cool things that went on. And we did like our little video intro that was like super sick and everybody got excited because we were like going to work, in our cars. And that's fun. This year, a little bit different, a little bit extra. a little bit more.
It's very extra.
We tested our acting chops, kind
We
of.
did. We tested our acting chops.
Yeah.
And like I stole a couple cues from my man Nick Cage.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just because I really wanted to set
The
this,
unbearable weight of massive talent. Can't wait to see that.
Set the movie,
Yes.
the movie mood.
Yes.
But yeah, 28th through April 1st, people are going to start showing up into town days just before that. And there's going to be so many faces that you guys already, know and love, right? The team from PNS. We're going to have Ivan LaCroix here, right? And the LaCroix Cruiser, which is going to be awesome because I know we haven't had Ivan on in so long. But I mean, Dylan Von Kleist is going to be here. We're going to have Chris West in the house. We're going to have our friends from IK Sprayers here. Yeah. I mean, Kosh Kemi, G Technic. Oh my God, dude! The list keeps going, right?
Yeah.
And so
we got all the crew here.
We're fingers crossed that a couple people they still haven't given us an exact confirmation yet. But if they show up, I mean, like Scott from Koenig, for example, I'm gonna be very excited. He's so much fun. I just
want him to set foot on the ground in the studio here. I think that would be so.
I want
cool.
him to just crack some jokes. He's so funny.
Scott is hilarious. And
So,
that's why he has a podcast too.
He does. You should check it out. Right? Behind the Wheel podcast with Koenig Wheels. Anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's coming up quick, so please mark your calendars. I mean, really, the more people that we have watching live on really any one of the platforms, the better, because it shows that this is actually impactful and it's making a difference because we want there to be live viewership. It's just like if we were to host an in-person event, it's like we want people to show up, right?
Yeah, we're trying to give you, person who's not, say, in the state of Idaho, a chance to teleport yourself into the room with the people actually doing the demos, answering questions, all that stuff. Even if you live in Iceland, it doesn't matter. You can pop right into the comments, and we know people do, and ask your questions and get a chance to ask, the actual people who know best how to answer your questions.
Yeah. So even if, the thing is, I guess what I'm asking is, even if you aren't going to be like 100%, attended, right, by watching every single second, leave it on in the background because it'd be, basically, I want more people to be viewing this live. Like, I honestly, if I'm just being real with you.
Be like Mazzina here. Throw it on in the background at the very least so you don't miss anything. Even if it's not your primary thing you're watching, that's okay. Just, check back on it regularly.
Well, it's like you're doing us a favor, right? Because think about it like this. If you walk into a party, right, and there's like 200 people at the party, chances are this is popping.
Be here.
I'm probably going to need to be here, right? And then what's going to happen? The next person walks in. Oh my God, there's 201 people at this party. Yeah. This is popping. I'm going to stay here, right?
Wow, you have a very accurate count after walking right in the door. That's impressive.
Right? And so that's what's going to happen. So it's the same thing live, right? I mean, if people are already watching us and somebody pops in and sees that there's so many people watching, they're going to be more inclined to hang out. And that's the goal. We want as many people hanging out with us as possible because we want to have eyes on this.
We don't want people walking into the party, hearing the music blasting, the lights are going, like everything looks crazy. You open the door and there's 5 guys slumped over on a couch drinking beers. That's not what we need. Yeah. We don't need that.
We don't need that. We want good diversity, right? We want different drinks. We want different foods, snack foods, finger foods. I like the little salamis rolled up with the cream cheese. What are those called?
I mean, I'm more into hush puppies or pigs in a blanket or whatever like that.
Too.
So that works.
I was saying, come to the party prepared.
Yeah.
Because we want you there.
All you have to do is bring yourself and a question or comment or two, and you're set. That's all you got to do. Which, by the way, if you're listening to all this,
to show up to TRC,
they literally show like I brought snacks. No, if you just want to do us a solid, we really appreciate this in advance. If you could, just doing yourself a favor and in turn doing us a favor. You got a YouTube account. Go on to YouTube. Chances are you're already watching it right now here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. But in case you haven't already, go over to the Rag Company YouTube channel, our main channel. That's the one with 60,000+ subscribers. That's the big one. Go there, look at upcoming live streams. Now from there are different streams that you'll see for the morning and afternoon slots of each day of TRCMA. So if you don't know the dates, that's fine. They're all right there. But the most important thing you can do, click on each one. There's just a handful of them. It's just a week. So basically there's 14 of them, one for each half of each day. You click set reminder. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you a notification from YouTube when it's like a day out, when it's like half an hour away from starting for each one. So you don't have to think about it or be like, oh, I'm in the wrong time zone. It doesn't matter what time zone you're in, as long as your computer is accurate or your phone or whatever device you're using. Just click the set reminder and you're logged into your account. It'll let you know. Yeah. And that's all you got to do. And that helps us out. That helps you out. And, it just keeps this whole thing rolling. So I appreciate it in advance. If you could please do that, that would make a big difference.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so really quick, a couple questions here. People have been asking, where's Levi? We kind of already addressed that. He's out sick today. And then we've had some people actually that have ordered some of our mystery bags, which is awesome. And Grant, thank you. Had it in the background at work, make you feel like I was at a trade show. I love that.
That's a vibe.
I love it. It is a vibe in itself. And then Bearded Hunter says, nothing more soothing than sipping on a gin and tonic while listening to Anthony explain product.
G&T, man.
I mean, if it's soothing to you, it's soothing to me, right? Maybe I will have a gin and tonic while I'm explaining.
I mean, it's 10 a.m. here, so I kind of wonder, but I'm sure where he's at, it's a little later.
Well,
so.
I think he's speaking figuratively in the grand scheme of TRCMA.
Mentally sipping that G&T.
But Tyler Graff says, is the mystery bag available in Canada? Unfortunately, it is not. It is just in the U.S. I'm sorry.
Okay, that would explain that.
See, I mean, there's a trade-off there, right? You get delicious maple syrup, you get a bunch of nice people, you get beautiful scenery. The trade-off and a universal health care. The trade-off is that you cannot get our U.S. packages. I'm sorry. Sorry, I wish it was easier. Glossy Bear saying what's up. So okay, besides that though, let's go ahead and jump into some of our weekends here. Since Levi is out, I know he did post up a photo and some videos of a Dotson that he was working on, so he did do some detailing.
That was a cool little Dotson pickup he had. I don't know if he shared photos with Nick. But
I don't think he did, but it was like a desert color, right? It was like
it was like a sage green color. I really liked it.
Sweet.
It was a dope little pickup. But yeah, like the early 80s, late 70s kind of body style. Just cool.
So he did, in fact, do some detailing, which is great because we did have some decent weather, actually, is what we had. So, Dane, talk to me. What do you do? Because I saw a photo in the thumbnail here that was concerning.
I'm sure people who saw the thumbnail for today's episode thought, that's weird. Why are they showing that?
That is weird. I want to know more about why there's a honeycomb on the ground. What is that?
So, it's kind of a long story, but I'm going to condense it into something a little shorter here. Basically, for the last decade plus, I mean, it's probably 12, 13 years this has gone on. There have been bees in the column or pillar, the base of the column, at my parents' house next to their front door. So there's just like 3 or 4 columns. They hold up, this kind of like overhang, this like eave that goes out, and just, gives you a covered walkway when you're walking up to the front door. And there are all these big timber posts and stuff. And the bases of them have just kind of like a rock facade around the bottom. Typical for like neighborhoods that were built in the early to mid 2000s. It's just that kind of style with the stucco and the rocks on the face for like a Northwest style home. Somehow the wood managed to create a large enough crack that bees started to go down into it, and they said, hey, you know what? It seems like a pretty sweet place to make a hive. So they did.
Oh, wow.
And next thing you knew, you would have yearly, just annually, there would be this swarm of bees. Like, it was kind of freaky. You'd just see this black mass in the sky fly towards the house, and you're just like, oh, plague! And then, no, they all just come, land on it, and then crawl down into the base of the pillar.
Okay.
Never really gave it much thought until, and this is getting a little ahead of ourselves, but cracking it open and discovering just how much stuff is in there, from the honeycomb to the honey. And I will say that is a decade plus in the making, so obviously they've gone pretty deep. But the whole reason that we cracked this thing open was because while I had my water flood incident at the shower at my house that I just got into, we were staying with my parents. And one day, I was standing near the front entryway, and I looked out the window out the front door, and I noticed it was kind of weird. all the columns, I looked up and I saw that one of the columns, like cross beams, was lower than the one to the right of it when it should be level. And I thought, that's weird. I'm going to point that out. I don't want to freak him out, but should point those kinds of things out.
Freaked him out.
And I was like, I don't know if you've seen this, but that doesn't line up with that. And then I walked out and I looked up and I was like, there's like a bubble. And I thought maybe like water had started to collect up there because we're all paranoid about water now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, so that doesn't look right. What I didn't consider was the fact that this post might have sunken down a little bit. And it had. So basically, best I can tell, the bees being in there for so long and developing honey and this hive and stuff must have like rotted or liquefied the bottom of the wooden post, the timber, to the point that it was actually like starting to decay and shorten itself, which is insane to me. Like, how does that? And you could see in the summer, it was getting hot enough, honey would start to seep out the bottom of the rocks.
That is delicious.
And I have to say, as someone who actually got a sampling of that honeycomb and tried a little taste, that honey is delicious.
So,
yes.
I mean, hopefully, would that honey attract a bunch of ants, though, potentially?
Yeah, ideally, you want to clear all that up. So their plan is basically, they want to build this back to how it looked before, but they're going to replace the actual wooden part at the bottom. They're going to lop that. They're going to support it with a crossbeam, and they're going to build it up with concrete at the bottom so that it can't happen like that again. But the bees have always been so friendly and been such a staple at this place for so many years that people actually are like excited to see the bees going in and out of the log because they're honeybees. They're not going to hurt you. They're friendly.
You don't know
They're
that,
fine.
Dane.
They've always been kind to us. Have
mentality.
never caused problems other than this, obviously, the post going down.
So what were they smoke? What is that? All that steam?
So the smoke is actually what calms down the bees. It just kind of chills them out. It puts them to sleep, essentially.
What?
It doesn't kill them, but it basically just... Have you ever watched like beekeeping videos or anything like that?
Why would I do that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, have you ever been exposed to beekeeping videos of any kind?
No, the thing is I think that bees are obviously necessary in our great little creatures.
Honeybees
but
are, yes.
I just don't particularly
Nobody needs
like
hornets
the idea
or wasps.
of touching a bee or having a bee on me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That is an up-close and personal shot.
Trigger warning to anybody who doesn't like small critters, but I think bees are wonderful little creatures. So
that's all honeycomb right there.
Yeah, and that's just some of it.
And
there was so much.
And it's edible.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's basically like wax.
So what are the dark areas, though? Is that like a...
I'm not an expert.
Because honey doesn't
I
go
assume
bad.
that's just where it's been there longer, and it just kind of like stains it or something. But no, like... Having tried it, the actual honey itself, amazingly sweet.
Do you think your parents would bring in some of that honey?
They put it in a bowl. They took some honeycomb, put it in there. But what they wanted to do was have this beekeeper come in and actually try and like ferry away some of the bees. I imagine the bees will come back and try and make a home maybe in one of the other posts eventually or do something similar. But it's been a place they've gone to for so long. I'm curious to see
because honeybees technically are they're not endangered, but they are definitely
they're on the way to being endangered. They're on the way to being endangered. I mean, honeybees, you need every last one you can get.
Yeah. That's insane.
They keep the whole system running.
Well, it was hilarious because...
If the bees go away, we're all screwed.
save the bees, right? What I did not know, though, swear to you, I did not know this. I was asking Dane, I said, how is a queen bee chosen, right? How is a queen bee born? And I was doing some research because I had no idea. Apparently, a queen bee is chosen based on a bee that shows a very healthy larva, right? Like
but starts as a regular bee, just like every other bee. They just happen to have some strong attributes.
They say, okay, you're obviously a really healthy larva. We are going to deem you the queen bee, right?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, well, you can't physically change that. Turns out you can't.
Well, then I was like, well, how do they physically look different? And apparently, the queen bee gets more honey than other bees, right? And the queen bee gets a special kind of honey called royal jelly.
That's right.
This is real.
Yeah.
This is not some BS made up crap. This is actually real. They give the queen bee royal jelly. Mm-hmm. And then that bee ends up growing double the size of that of a normal honeybee.
It's larger.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
That's just how it works. But you know what? It's been working for a long time. I can't exactly explain why their numbers are starting to dwindle around the world, but I know that's not good. We need to make sure that, honeybees continue to
Is there a
reproduce and
way
appear
to
everywhere.
convince them to have maybe more than one queen?
I don't know their rules.
Because I don't know their rules either. I just think that, hey, if you guys are having an issue with the population and you guys are really counting on the queen bee potentially giving birth to more bees?
I haven't spoken to the local bees team manager, so I couldn't really tell you what they're up to, but I just know we need to ensure that every last one of them survives.
So what I find, though, especially in Idaho, is why I think it's so interesting that your parents had honeybees, is that most of my experience with bees living here in this great state, right,
has been negative.
It's been
ground hornets and
wasps.
wasps.
Hornets. It's everything that
Yellow
you
jackets.
don't. Yeah, yellow jackets. It's everything you don't want.
You have outdoor catering food for like a wedding or sporting event. Enjoy getting attacked by bees that love meat.
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of how it's always been.
So that's another reason not to move to Idaho. If you are allergic to wasps or hornets or yellow jackets,
I don't think that's going to change property values.
There is just a ton here, and they'll F you up. And so, but no, it's true though, because every event I've gone to, right, whether it's even at like somebody's house, right, they have like the wasp nests, right? Wasp nests happen to everybody's house here. I mean, seriously,
no, you'll find them under like an eave or in the corner of a wooden fence or like in a garage door opening, like up in the crevice in the corner.
So they have it all the time, and they really are kind of just menaces. And people say, "Oh, don't pay attention, leave them alone," but sometimes they're like out for vengeance. They don't leave
you alone.
I mean, I'm like, dude, this thing wants to start something with me. Yeah. And I remember back in the day when I worked at Lowe's, Home Improvement, right? Oh. We had a shortage of wasp spray during wasp season. And we had completely sold out. And I guess the wasp situation around that time of year was so bad across the valley that people were trying to do anything they could to find more spray.
Have you used those cans? They run out really fast.
They do.
Like, you sit there and you spray. If you held it down for 10 seconds straight, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
So we ran out and people were freaking out like, hey man, like, what else can I do? And I'm like, I don't know. You're asking I'm like 18. I don't know what the plan is. I just run from them. And I don't know. There's been some situations where they've gotten pretty bad. But regardless, my approach is, Dane, I grab the wasp spray. I get a decent close range.
They're
to this
designed to
thing.
shoot a long distance because they know you don't want to get all up in that hornet's grill.
And so what I do is when I start laying that stuff on, I douse it. Dude.
Oh yeah,
I like cake it on, and then what I do,
you got to make sure they're swimming.
I scurry down the ladder, throw it up in the air, and scream like a girl and run inside my house and just wait and just see what happens.
That's all part of the SOP. That's how you handle all of that.
Scurry down the ladder. Get down, go.
Get down.
But yeah, I just don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think it's so cool that there was bees, like actually honeybees there, because I have just not been around my house and been like, oh, honeybee.
Yeah, no.
I've always been, wasp.
It seems
hornet.
weird to literally everybody else, but having spent, obviously a lot of time around my parents' house, walking up that walkway and just hearing like the buzz and all that stuff, other people who aren't familiar with it would be freaked out. They're like, oh my God, where's there a hive? What's going on? No, like it was always kind of a welcoming sound.
Well, and your parents are very proud of their bees.
It was kind of weird, but at the same time, like I totally get it. It's cool, it's unique, as you saw, they cracked that thing open. They were.
When we were over there last week filming video, he was talking. He was like, I'm really excited to crack this open because he's like, I think it's just all honeycomb. And I'm like, you really think so? He's like, I just have a feeling. And so go figure. You cracked it open. What do you guys find? All honeycomb.
Yeah.
So I feel like if more bees were to populate in another one of their pillars, I don't think they'd be mad about it.
No.
I think they'd be like, oh, good, the bees came back.
No, seriously, they'd be like,
are home.
We'll get at least another decade out of this before we have to replace that one.
Yeah, that's good. As long as the bees are happy.
No, that's just it. Like, keep the honeybees happy.
So what you need to do is just figure out a trade situation to where they can deliver some honey in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Better than what they're currently doing.
literally set it up so there's a little spigot coming out of the side of the post.
Yeah.
Now, Luke is just dropping in. He's confused. Where's Levi? Levi's out sick, but he'll be all right. He's just he's out today.
He's got a
So
little
yeah.
bug of some sort. But
So the reason I'm tied in with that whole bees thing is because my dad was asking me for help setting up a GoPro to capture a time lapse of the whole thing and do all that. So I basically got him to download the GoPro app on his phone and taught him how to use it. Went through the whole thing, and that was how I spent a chunk of my day the other day.
that is something that your dad would want to film because
he was very adamant. He needed to get footage of it, and he didn't want to miss a beat.
It's exactly what Jeff would
Unfortunately,
do.
when he recorded it, it defaulted back to video, and it recorded the entire thing in video instead of time lapse. But it got most of it.
Speed it up,
but it's a lot of fun.
That's just I can see it, Dane. This is important to me that we get a time lapse of the honeybees.
Well, and they were starting at 7 a.m., so I'm
wow.
I'm not going to be over there at 7 a.m., but let me show you how this works. So I'm like, here's the app. We'll figure that out.
How funny.
And it worked.
1 a.m. saying, who's feeling lucky today? Because I do. Sounds like 1 a.m. just picked himself up a Lucky Sevens mystery bag.
Good call.
TheRagCompany.com. I mean, I'm hoping everybody's getting one, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this, chances are you're luckier than the rest because you pay attention.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway.
Beyond the bees, which were awesome, another thing I did last week was I got the wheels of my van painted. I was very excited about that because now they look legit. Before, they were like kind of a silver color, and they're a little beat up, But the van, despite being from the early 90s and looking a little worse for wear because those stickers never came off fully right, the adhesive's still stuck on there.
Oh, yeah. And then
the van only has about 60,000 miles on it.
And Anthony took what's it called?
Well, we made sure to slap a Rag Company sticker right over where you
right over the top.
Burned through my paint.
You need to get the rest of that adhesive off. That's what looks the worst.
It just looks bad because of that. If not for that, it would look awesome.
If you got the adhesive off, it would be fine.
Yeah, I just found it so difficult to remove that adhesive. I've tried some other things, and I think I may have to go to more drastic measures or take the Anthony approach and just buzz that sucker and get it repainted. I don't know
if that's the answer. I don't know what the answer is.
We shall see. We shall see. But I gave Nick a few pictures showing the before, so you can kind of see there was silver before, and it was just a standard. Yeah. And you'll also see I got my Kuma Road Ventures, which are the smallest mud terrain tires I could find. They just barely fit. They're 27-inch diameter. But now I got the paint on them. Yeah. They look pretty dope. I really like it. And it's Evo gray, so it's kind of like a flat, dark gray. Yeah. And then I got the center caps because they're not able to be powder coated. They had to paint them. So they did more of a standard paint job. I just had them painted flat black. So there's a little contrast, but it's subtle. Yeah. So, no, I'm really happy with how those turned out. I think it makes the whole van look cooler. For sure.
I think it looks way cooler.
So it definitely helps. And for stock wheels, they look good. Like they got a little depth to them. They're tiny, but that also meant they were cheaper to paint. So that's always good.
That's true.
Yeah. So my weekend was mostly spent doing stuff like that, assembling a fireplace that I had gotten from my house quite a while ago. It had just been in boxes, and because of the whole flooding event, I'd held off because I didn't want to build something and then have it get covered in a bunch of debris, dust, and stuff in the house. But I decided, it's good. So this weekend I actually set up. Yes, I got an electric fireplace because I'm lame. But the reality is I wanted to have the cozy vibes, and I understand an electric fireplace is not going to fool anybody. Nobody's going to be confused.
Can you read that for me?
Andre, I love that. Looks like an off-road pug. Yes, my van is sort of like a pug in that sense. I love that. Yeah. Underpowered, ugly, but kind of adorable. Yeah. That's spot on. It also has trouble breathing, so they have that in common too. But so I assembled this electric fireplace, nice big, white mantle and stuff. Bought it off Wayfair. Luckily, no kids came inside, so that's always good. Yeah. So all good there. But assembled this thing. It looks cool. I can change the color of the flames. I can change it so that the embers glow and do all that stuff. It's not fooling anybody, but it just gives off the impression of a fireplace in the space, which is all I wanted. And it gave me a place to put a soundbar and a TV on top and stuff too for the upstairs. So now it looks very nice. And it does the job, but it can also, and this is what I like about electric fireplaces, being fake as they are, I like the fact that you can turn on the fireplace and have it emit 0 heat. It can just be a show. It doesn't have to output heat, which makes it super nice as an alternative to like a wood stove or a gas fireplace where there's no option. Those are real flames. They are generating heat. With the electric fireplace, it can just simply be a light show. And when it's warmer in the house or it's warmer outside, but you still want that ambiance, it's the perfect solution for that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to generating some good vibes with that.
Yeah.
And I also bought myself a nice big faux plant to put next to it on the side there, which is not a fire hazard at all, but looks good.
You have to maintain it.
Got it from Home Depot. You don't want me maintaining plants. I did get real succulents, though, and I put them in the windows of the kitchen
Bet you did
sink
get real succulent.
Yeah. Pretty good. They got a little wood stand, and they're happy little cacti. So I think that's cool. But I'm just trying to make the home feel more homey. Got to breathe some life into this thing. Can't just look like I'm moving in forever. So I'm trying to do more of that.
Are they getting a little closer on the finishing up any of the holes in the ceilings?
So we've got drywall has been put in on the bottom floor and the second floor, and texture has been added on the bottom floor and the second floor.
Yeah.
But the third floor, which is where most of the damage is, that place is all ripped apart. I was just informed yesterday by them talking about the tubs, that the tubs are way more expensive than what their initial estimate accounted for. And it's like, that's not my job to know that
not your
stuff.
problem. Yeah.
But it's suddenly becoming my problem. I don't want to be out of pocket for this stuff. It's insane, the difference of what they say this stuff costs. So it's just maddening, but figuring it out. I just, Liz wants the stress to be
we're gonna
over.
go to the adjusters, the appraisers, whatever the heck you call them. We're gonna go to their house. I'm gonna cut out their bathtub.
Well, no, the appraiser has actually been the cool one in all this.
Who's been the wrong one?
The difficult part has been like when the restoration company, who has been very good and very communicative, they just didn't account for what this plumbing company that is supplying them the tub says the tub will actually cost, which when you factor it in, the tub apparently costs more than what I was allocated for the entire job of all 3 floors.
So we're going to go to their house. I'm going to go to their house. I'm going to cut their tub out of their house. And I'm going to say, this is on you until you figure this out.
Point being, we'll get it figured out, but it is taking forever, and it is a pain, and I do not recommend it to anybody. If you have water damage in your house ever, I feel for you. I get it. It sucks. So just hope it never happens to you. Feel lucky. Get yourself a lucky pack. Have that luck rub off in a way that doesn't impact your home in a negative way. That would be good.
Rub it off,
no
man.
monkey paw effect here.
Heck yeah.
So anyway, my weekend was pretty much just doing that. I binged all of F1 Drive to Survive.
Oh my gosh, season 4.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
What do you think?
It's all hypey drama stuff, but man, I love it. Like it's a show that managed to make me care about F1 when I didn't before. Like I love cars and I love like all that kind of, car encyclopedia guy. But when it came to motor racing, like I know some of the greats, some of the classics and stuff, and like some of the vintage things are cool. But overall, I don't pay that much attention to motorsport. Honestly, it's kind of separate from my love of cars, if I'm honest. Yeah. But there's certain historical ones that appeal to me based on playing in racing games and stuff like that. But with F1, I always felt like the F1 cars, after about the early 90s, maybe the late 90s, it just felt too alien to me. I couldn't really tie it to, even cool engine sounds and stuff, because now they're no longer the V10s or the old screaming V12s or any of that stuff. They're all like 6-cylinders, and it doesn't sound as good. And it's just kind of a bummer. But I get it. They're working. They're always pushing the envelope in terms of technology. It's cool what they're able to do. But in this case, they actually make like the politics of it interesting, and they make they add intrigue. And like Max Verstappen didn't want to be interviewed at all for season 4, so he was like not in it really at all directly. So instead, they have his team principal, Michael Horner, the Red Bull captain, basically doing interviews to cover all the spaces where they would probably rather be talking to Max. But they get a lot of like Max behind the scenes picked up on other people's mics, so they still get a lot of Max in there, which is funny. But yeah, they have their own way of making it work. But no, I really enjoyed it. And like anybody who watches F1 already knows how all that stuff panned out. But watching the show, they do a great job of like building up the
They do a
rivalries
good job
and making it
of
entertaining.
creating it an entertaining thing.
And making it digestible for somebody who doesn't pay attention to this stuff in the real world in real time.
Yeah.
So as its own little, theater, it's fun.
I agree.
So, yeah, I really like that about it. And, I would give it 2 thumbs up just for entertainment value.
I would say it brings over the F1. I guess it gets Americans more excited about the sport. And because
honestly, F1 needs the help in terms of like, more broad support around the world, because they can only benefit from that if they can actually garner some new eyeballs.
Well, just because over in Europe, right, F1's probably...
Because otherwise you become irrelevant and fade away. But
well, yeah, I just think that F1 over in Europe, right, is much bigger. Just like NASCAR is big here in the U.S. It's just that I think most of the U.S. doesn't really care about F1 primarily. Yeah. They really don't. So I think that this show is a good way to get people to kind of care more about it, and especially the way they shoot it more dramatically to make it appeal to us.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish I would absolutely go to an F1 race before I went to a NASCAR race. Mm-hmm. NASCAR doesn't do it for me unless they were going to crash.
You know what? One little thing that they kind of tease in this show, I don't know if they were just like kind of showing it to see if people might be interested or say something about it, but it struck me as something the editors intentionally did when they're setting it up. One of the teams got a new principal who I'm blanking on his first name, but his last name is Yost, like Jost or Jost. He comes from a rally background. Leading teams for that stuff, was really successful at running a turnaround stuff. But they show a ton of rally footage edited in the style of like F1 Drive to Survive, and all I could think was, I would watch the hell out of a show about rally in the style of Drive to Survive. I would watch that all day long. Like, that would be awesome if they do something like that. I get with F1, like, the politics are more heightened and everything is a little more intense and stuff. Like, rally is intense, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite the same, like, company backing, battling it out kind of thing that rally is. Rally is more about
the money stakes are different.
Yeah, no, like, it's all the financial stuff in F1 that makes it crazy and nefarious.
Think about you're in Monaco, you're in all those crazy places where the most amount of money is.
The cold-blooded decisions they make about, like, this driver isn't holding it up. We're going to take that driver from that other team. We're going to drop our guy who
I like how then they talk about talk about the money contracts, right? And they talk about the money and they're like, I'm only getting this much. I'm like, only that much.
They're like very
but keep in mind those guys could die at any moment, so they have to, I guess, try to make it worth it their time in one way, shape, or form.
Graham's right. Either sport, you're stuck in the same spot for the race, watching on big screens until the car's bigger. I'd rather watch on TV, if I'm honest, on a home theater setup. It's more interesting that way. And to be fair, like, as cool as it is to watch the actual races and stuff, if you're down with watching a more reality TV show take on it, Drive to Survive, they do a lot more sound design and things like that to, like, build the theater of it. Totally works. It's very enjoyable. But no, if they're even slightly contemplating doing a rally version of that, like expanding their empire to include, like, rally drivers and that kind of action, I have little to no interest in watching regular rally stuff unless it just comes across my screen because I like the highlights. But man, I would watch that show instantly, like, on it. It's just interesting to see, but more interesting to watch the regular sport of that than it is F1 to me.
Yeah.
But for a show, I don't know how that would play out. I'm just curious. Now, the last thing I'll throw on there is, out of all the teams, I don't know who has their, like, favorite drivers and stuff they throw out there, and some choices get pretty spicy in terms of people's takes on them. I don't necessarily have a favorite driver, but I do have a favorite livery from this season. My favorite livery is on the Alpine cars. The Alpine cars had a dope livery on their if you look for it, it looked really cool this year. Because they took the old, I think it was Renault that they cleared out, and then they replaced them with Alpine. Still a French company, but basically Alpine makes, the little sports car, rally car from the 60s, 70s, and then they're mostly known for that. They were Renault, and then Alpine was a subset of Renault. But anyway, their livery on their cars this year, super cool. Yeah. So, if you haven't seen that, look that up. But anyway, on to your stuff. What did you do? I gave Nick some pictures of things in your garage,
I just sent some too. But no, my weekend started out pretty good. So Friday night, I ended up going to the gym, right? Like I said, I really am trying to be more consistent there. So far so good though. I think I'm down probably a couple pounds from what I was. I think I want to say I'm down like three or 4 pounds. But the problem is I'm working out too. So I'm like sometimes the offset of losing fat, gaining muscle type of thing. But so went Friday night, got a really good workout in. I mean, like really, really good. And I want to say that Saturday morning, that's when we woke up and it was super nice. We had that amazing weather on Saturday. Like I'm talking, it was almost 70 degrees. It was like 69 degrees.
It got toasty.
It was amazing. And of course, right, the first nice day that we have, everybody wants to get outside.
Yeah.
And the first thing that comes to my mind, right, is, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go get on a motorcycle.
I was going to say, you want to go ride.
I want to get on a motorcycle and go ride, right? But I wake up in the morning, first thing that happens is Katie, my wife, says, hey, are you ready to go on a walk down by the Greenbelt? And I said, yes, let's do that. I don't need to go on a ride right now. So we went down, took Lucy down to the Greenbelt, met my mom over there, and we went on a nice walk, just went on a pretty long walk, actually, and checked everything out. It was just gorgeous weather. And from there, I went back home, and Katie was going to be taking off for the evening. She's going to her grandparents with her mom. So, left to my own devices, I was like, okay, I want to do something car-related, right? I'm not really, I don't know, I wasn't really in the mood to ride anymore, but I was in the mood to do something car-related. So, I needed to drill a spoiler onto my Honda CRZ, my hybrid.
So you're drilling into perfectly clean panels.
Correct, Dane. Correct. And so that is, as you can imagine, slightly stressful on a car that you might really care about, but on a $2,400 auction car, hey, the world is my oyster, right?
It's the nicest looking $2,400
right?
auction
That's
car.
what I'm saying.
Yes. No, it's very sharp.
Anyway, because the little CRZ project is coming together well. I cannot wait to detail that thing. Like I am itching towards it because I just want to polish it. I want to coat it. I want to do all these things. I just know that the next several things I'm going to be doing to that car, it's going to get more and more marred. My hands are all over the place.
You don't want to do all that stuff.
There's no point in doing it right now. I need to give a little bit more time. So, anyway, so I basically mocked everything up. This spoiler, I got it off of eBay, but it came color matched. And that was the one thing I was really impressed about because I bought the spoiler for like $180. It came color matched from eBay, meaning that they painted it from somewhere in California as an eBay seller. But the paint quality was fantastic. I mean, the base coat looked great. The metallic in it looked great. The clear, they finished it out, even in like the weird areas that they didn't even need to finish it out. There was no runs. It was just a great painted piece, and I was very impressed by it. So I got excited and said, okay, let's try to get this thing installed. At about the time I was mocking everything up, I realized I was in over my head. I was like, there's no way that I can do this by myself because I have to create a template, right? How this spoiler sits on the car, it's like this weird kind of curved area, meaning I have to drill through the hatch portion. And once you drill, there's no going back, right?
No.
And
what happens if you measure wrong and you just put it slightly off?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a thought that crossed your mind, I'm sure.
I don't know, Dave. I couldn't risk that, right?
Because you're drilling into a panel that's not flat. It's like angled.
They say measure twice, drill once, right? I'd rather measure 700 times before drilling once, especially when it's a little bit higher stakes like that. So,
just imagine being 2 millimeters off on one side. You got the hole slightly forward while the others are slightly aft. The whole wing, when you stand back, just looks crooked.
Yeah, no, Dane. Seriously, that's what I was definitely worried about that. So.
Dear.
I was, kind of trying to create a template. Katie took off, and that's when I texted you and Jimmy, and I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing right now?" And
you caught me at a bad
you were out
time.
and running
to
around.
Help,
but Jimmy says, "Hey, man, I can come help you." Me and Andy, right? Andy's one of the packers here.
Yeah.
And so they came over to the house, and it was just funny because he's like, "So do you know what you're doing?" So I kind of have an idea, right? I have an idea of a plan.
Okay.
And so they helped me. Honestly, if it wasn't for both them helping, I don't know how the heck I would have done this. But we mocked it up, made a template. I drilled the holes. Before I drilled them, I took a little, what's it called? It's like where you create an indentation, right? At the point, I took that hammer and hammered right into the top of that hatch, I was like, well, there it is. There's no going back now, right? I've now dented this.
Imagine you do that and the glass just suddenly cracked. It got a little hairline crack.
Don't say that, Dane. But no, I couldn't believe it. It all worked out. We literally mocked it up after drilling everything. I put a bolt over into it, thinking, okay, I'm kind of nervous. The bolt fit in. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. So anyway, wow. Nick, do you have a picture here of my shopping cart CRZ?
Yeah.
I sent you one on Slack too, if there's a way to see that. So
man,
it definitely added a little bit of something extra to it.
Looks funny right now because there's no wheels or other body kit on it yet.
Yeah. Give me time.
But it's the start of something interesting.
The rest of the kit will be on there. It's just, I figured all of my vehicles have to have a wing on them, especially every JDM vehicle I have. I can't not have a wing.
Bikes have one.
What? My bikes aren't JDM, Dane. All my JDM vehicles
have British Triumph and your German BMW are JDM?
No, I said all of my vehicles that are JDM have to have a wing on them.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I thought it looks pretty good and adds something a little bit more to it. It's hilarious because it's a hybrid, front wheel drive.
Oh no, I think it's like people make the front wheel drive jokes, but to me, nothing is funnier than adding drag to a car designed to get rid of as much drag as possible.
Yeah, but it's funny because dude, the more I drive the car, again, the more I like it. And go figure, right? I buy a hybrid right before we have like these all-time high gas prices.
Yeah, how are you enjoying that?
I'm happy.
I sold my C-Max plug-in hybrid a while ago, and let me tell you, I miss getting, no joke, 60 miles per gallon plus. I miss that.
So right now I'm getting 40. I've measured it. When I'm romping on it, I get about like 34. But like,
I can't even get that on a good day.
Yeah, I'm getting like 34. I'm like when I'm like really getting on it. But like just through cruising in eco mode, it's like 40 miles per gallon. But it's
you love that car though, don't you?
Well, dang, it's paid for itself. I paid $2,400 for it, right?
And what did I tell you when you got it? I'm like, you won't regret this.
And I've put almost no money into it so far, other than the PDR. I probably think so. The wrap all was cheap. That was all cheap stuff. The PDR was the most expensive, as I paid about like I paid $500 for all that PDR, which honestly, at $500 versus $2,000 at a body shop, I'll take it. So it's been good though. So I can't wait to get it detailed. That'll be really exciting. So after I put the wing on, I just kind of wiped everything down and a little bit of some paint gloss, PNS paint gloss, get the thing shined up. And then Sunday was a little bit gloomier weather. Kind of hung around the house.
Gray.
I was thinking, I was told Katie, I said, hey, I'm thinking I need to go to Costco because I really want to start figuring more things out for my garage, right? Because I still have this barn door in my garage that needs to get stained. I want it out. I want it gone.
Where's the barn door going?
It's going in my master bathroom. There's no door there, so we're gonna put a barn door there. That's been the plan all along, but it's been the plan for 7 months. I want the door out of my garage. I want it gone somewhere, right?
Yeah, this feels like having just moved into a house and then half a year later, boxes are still there.
It's so big. It's so freaking big. I don't want this big ass board in my garage anymore.
Yeah.
Sick of it. And so I should have. This is what I should have done. I should have got that stained because that's what we were waiting on. I've been saying I need to stain this thing. So I need to stain that, but I told Katie I want to start cleaning more things up, and I want to go to Costco and look for maybe a potential like an outdoor small like chest style shed that I can put maybe
like one of those like patio furniture type ones that are like the height of this table.
Higher than this, a little bit higher, about the 4 feet high.
A little bigger.
I want somewhere I can put my lawnmower and all of the outdoor power equipment stuff, or like the weed eater and things like that.
Yeah.
Those are all things that I wonder where people put those in their garages.
Well, normally like weed eaters and stuff, like when I had them, I would mount them on the wall.
I know, but like I see all these really decked out garages.
Well, yeah, it's not aesthetically pleasing by any means.
I'm assuming they have
in
sheds.
A nice garage, you put it out in a shed or a lean-to or something like that.
Well, and that's what I was talking to Katie about. So I said, hey, I'm going to go to Costco. I'm going to go look to see if I can find one of these like kind of cheaper sheds, right? Maybe spend $300 or for something I can use for storage temporarily until we can figure out a longer term option, such as a lean-to or something. And that's the hard part, though. A lean-to, right, now would probably cost you about $2,000 maybe for a lean-to of some sort.
Depending on the size.
And these sheds are costing like $400. So I'm like, what do I rather spend my money? $400 here, $2,000 down the road. I don't really know.
It all depends on how much stuff you got to store.
Right. So I went to Costco and crazy, man, because that Costco was pre-pandemic is what it was. I know people have different thoughts and feelings about the whole mask situation, but I will just say that there was 2 people wearing a mask in the entirety of Costco.
Yeah,
it was a little old man and a little lady. I mean, like I was. And they're 2 separate. They weren't together. Yeah. But I just couldn't believe it because it was so packed. I'm like, guys, this is like super congested.
That's because people got a whiff of good weather and went, yeah, screw it, I'm going. I'm going out.
I know, but I'm like, man, you think that some people at least, I don't know. I thought that more people would be maybe a little bit more considerate, considering of how close things are, right? And how we kind of got into this last year with thinking, oh, everything's fine again, right? And then everything's not fine again, right? So it's just, I don't know. I was just surprised that I had my mask on and everybody's looking at me kind of like, oh, I'm like, don't you know the pandemic's over? I'm like, I don't think that it is. So yeah, so just chill. I know they've lifted a lot of the regulations, which I think is good, right? And I think a lot of people
we're in Idaho.
And I think a lot of people have gotten vaccinated and things like that, which is great as well. I just know that it was just strange. It was my first experience walking into a place that was that packed because it was one of those like 20-minute waits and lines at a Costco. That's how packed it was, right?
Which one did you go to?
The Meridian one.
Meridian one, okay.
And I just couldn't believe it. I don't know. I was just shocked. I was just like, so we're just not doing that anymore, right? Some people are sick of it. I get it, but I don't know. I was very surprised. What's Andre say? Build a closet in the garage and use the barn door to hide the stuff. Yeah. I like that, Andre. That's a great way to look at it.
Cut out a little cove.
I like what you're thinking there. And then G. Davis says, staying in the barn door was a risque recreational activity.
Rob Sprague.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. But yeah. So I don't know. I was just, I guess, shocked by the whole thing. So I was, I needless to say, I wanted to get in and out of there because I got a baby at home. I don't want, any exposure to that kind of stuff is unnecessary to me when I don't really need to be there. So I wanted to see if they had the shed. They didn't have the shed. Yeah. My wife asked me.
That's the tough part with Costco. Like, if you're there one week and you're like, hey, this is cool. You either buy it then, or you just say, okay, I'm going to take my life into my own hands, and when I show up next week, maybe it's there, maybe it's not, and it's almost always gone the next week.
They did have a 4x6, right? So it's 6 high and 4 wide, right, and 3 deep, right? But I'm thinking
that's pretty tall.
It's tall. What? I don't need 6 feet of height.
You need the depth, though. You don't need the height.
Yeah, I need the depth and the width. Right, not so much the height because 6 feet tall. Like, what am I gonna do with something 6 feet tall?
Is this like one of those ones where the lid pops open and there's barn doors in the front?
That's what I want.
Because I like that.
I've
seen that and I thought, that makes it useful. Because the hard part about these low ones that are deep is how do you get to the back without looking like an idiot crawling on your hands and knees to get into the back? It's like, no, like have the top open and the little doors in the front.
No, this one is just 2 doors. It's like a closet.
Because let's be honest, most people who have a shed, like doing the bare minimum with a shed, they're not going to install custom shelves and do all this other stuff in it. They're like, I got a shed now. And then what do? They take everything they got, they throw it in there, and it all just covers the floor, but they don't really bother with any of the higher level stuff. So that height is wasted on a lot of people.
Yeah. So I don't know. I looked, they had one style, but it just wasn't really what I was wanting for, especially paying $400.
Was it that modern? Oh, no. I was going to say
it's just 6 feet tall by 4 wide, and it's 2 double doors that open up.
Right.
And it was $400. And so it would give me, it's 3 feet of depth, though.
So
right?
it's essentially a cabinet, but deeper.
It's all it is a cabinet. And that's where I think that's just not what I was wanting.
Well, it's great if you got to stack tires.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great if you're going to stack tires. So after that, though, kept walking around. Katie texted me. She's like, hey, can you pick up some groceries while you're here? I'm like, hey, I don't think you understand. I want to get out of here, man. Like, seriously, it is an infestation waiting to happen. So I grabbed some bagels for her, right? She wanted she said they have the best bagel deal. Apparently, you get I don't know how many bagels it is for like $2 or something. They're unsliced bagels. It is just a bagel that you can buy for a pack of bagels for super cheap.
Some people like bagels. I could care less.
My wife loves bagels. I hate bagels. Right? I
love croissants. I'll talk to you about croissants.
Well, there's a Blue Sky bagel place here that's fine. It's pretty good.
Some people like that.
But my jaw hurts. I eat a bagel, right?
Right. They're most of the time they're tough, and it's like this is like a sandwich, but worse.
It is worse, and they make sandwiches.
And
over
yet there are people who just live for that schmear. That's all they want is they want their bagel and their schmear, and that's
like,
it.
Dude,
it's like that's cool.
You're gonna look like Mr. Incredible after a couple of bagels.
I don't need my jaw sore by the end of
God, man, it hurts. So she wanted the bagels. I said, fine, I'll go get you your damn bagels. So I go and grab a pack, and I grab a couple more things, some protein, whatever else I needed, and I'm checking out, and lady's like, oh, hey, you forgot your extra pack of bagels. And I said, huh? And she says, yeah, you get 2 bags of the bagels for the price.
Oh, my.
And I said, oh, I didn't know that. You can just charge me for the 2, and I'll just take the 1.
She didn't let you do that,
she's like, well, don't you want to go back? I look back at the line. That's 20 minutes long now.
Like,
and I
no,
look at the rest of the store
really.
And I say, do you think I want to go back?
Oh, no.
And she goes, it's really not that big of a deal. She's like, we can just wait and hold up the line for you.
Oh,
and I
God, no.
And I said, lady, I'm not going to do that. the bakery in the back.
It's literally the complete opposite side of the building.
Opposite side of this building. I'm not going to do it, man.
Anybody who's been in a Costco knows.
They're looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, sir, you don't want to grab your extra pack of bagels? I'm like, no, charge me.
But everybody who comes to Costco loves deals.
Charge me
no, just
for the
stop.
1, right? It's not worth it for me, right?
Oh,
and so they were like, okay, sounds good. So they start ringing everything up, right?
High roller much?
No.
Actually, come across more like a loser. You didn't take advantage.
No. Listen, Dane, they start ringing everything up, right? And then they grab my bagels. They start walking away. And I said, hey. Hey, what are you doing with my bagels? Those are for my wife. Bring those bagels back here. And she said, I told you, sir, that we sell these in a pack of 2. And I said, that's fine. I will buy the 1. Give me the 1. You can have my other bagel pack.
She charged you for the bagel, but then they took them?
What's that?
She charged you for the bagels, but then took them?
So then, no, she didn't. I guess she didn't charge me. She just took the bagels, right?
Well, if you're not getting both, then you don't want these. It's like, no, I put them on my cart. I want them.
Yeah. So she starts walking with the bagels. I say, what are you doing? She says, no, sir, we can't sell these to you. They come in a pack of 2.
See,
And I said,
I knew it. It had to be an inventory thing.
Yeah, that's when she said, she's like, it's an inventory thing. I said, then why wouldn't you tape 2 of the damn bagel packs together?
Some people can't handle that. You need to tie that crap together. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
They're loose bagel bags. Of course I'm going to grab one.
How are you expected to just know that unless, I don't know,
especially
read?
When it's like $2.99. It says like 12 pack of bagels or 6 in a thing, right? How would I know? I'm not the bagel person that comes to Costco every week. I don't know what the deal is.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of East Coast friends who love bagels who are going to be upset about this. But the reality is...
I was so mad. And so she took my bagels away. And I said, all right.
And now you either have to go back in and go to the line again, or go home and say, I'm sorry, honey, they took the bagels.
I was that's what I did. I left there, and I'm like, I'm going to have to call Katie right now because she's well aware of the bagel situation.
That is so
I
dumb.
said, hey, sorry, the bagel thing didn't work out. And she's like, what do you mean it didn't work out?
Like, I wasn't aware it was one of those things where it's like, it can't work out?
Sorry. Like,
You buy the bagels. It's that simple.
Like, your stupid bagels only come in a packet too. And she's like, you didn't know that?
And you're like, no, honey.
No!
I just learned there are rules.
There are rules with the bagels. So
You didn't follow the bagel rule.
so stupid, man. I was so mad at that. Anyway, I went home. I went home. It's like I was like a husband. When I was supposed to go out hunting.
Like a husband? You are a husband.
Well, it was like a husband going out for hunting and gathering,
Oh,
right?
okay,
And I show up with nothing.
Just show up
I showed up
empty-handed.
with store-bought berries is what I did. Yeah. So
He's just reading a card, and then he looks up. Turns out he's actually laughing at Anthony.
because so stupid and yeah.
Juan, what are you doing in that situation? It's so stupid.
So stupid, freaking bagels. But let me see what else. What I ended up end up getting. They had area rugs there for $15, right?
I will admit I'm a sucker when they have those rugs out and I see one that I like the look of. It's hard not.
Well,
to
it's one
buy
of those
rugs.
indoor-outdoor ones, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of more tough looking.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word to call it. So I bought one
Rugged.
thinking, okay, I could possibly do something cool, maybe with my motorcycles. And so Nick's got a picture here. So what I ended up doing is getting an area rug, like this little black kind of textured rug, and I cut it to the right dimensions. And what you can't see is there's a little pole, like one of those little guard poles up in front of my water heater there. I punched a hole in the rug and then slid it over the top of the pole, so it's like a perfect. You know,
so it'll never scoot away.
Never scoot away, right? And then
what did you use to punch the hole?
I just a razor blade. I just cut it.
Did you like hold it over the post? Because normally those are hollow, so you just have.
I marked
the
it with
rim.
tape and then held it over and then just cut around and then slid it over. So I did that, and then so the area rug was $15, right? But the gaff tape I used because I wanted gaff tape because gaff tape looked better than duct tape. So Nick, can you pull it up one more time? So that's gaff tape around the outside there. So I used gaff tape.
Looks clean.
And then taped it down. Does this make any sense to do this for my motorcycles? It kind of. No, not really. It just I need something
It creates
to change in that garage soon.
a home space for them that you can easily identify and go, yes, nothing will ever interfere with this little grid.
Yeah.
This is where the bikes go.
There's no oil issue. They don't leak oil.
Was it
a
a common size for these? Is like 6x7 or 6x8? I
So
imagine
it was
something
6x9.
Nine,
So what I
okay.
ended up cutting it, I cut 2 feet off the bottom, so it's about 7 feet length now with and I cut about a foot off the side, so it's about 5x7 is what it cut it down to. But $15 at Costco. So if you need one for your outdoor area, they're cheap. They have them in black, tan,
Great
gray.
DIY idea.
They have some like different design ones, but just a pretty good deal. So I did that. I like the look of it. I think it sets the mood, and is what it is. After that, though, I know me and Katie's mom and Katie, we all watched that new Ryan Reynolds movie.
Oh yeah, I watched that last night too. Project Adam, where it's
Project
like
Adam, yeah.
I knew going in, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be one of those like probably kind of throwaway movies. It'll be fun in moments, but overall it'll probably feel kind of empty or whatever.
Yeah.
I found it to be like, I won't call it mid. It was better than mid, but it was definitely not like one for the ages or anything like that. It was, at least in my opinion, I would give it a very strong like 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I just think that the effects were kind of cheesy.
There were definitely some cheesy effects. Some were good. But some were, on the cheeseball side. I think initially it felt like the kid was acting way too hard, but by the middle or end of it, I was like, oh no, the kid's actually a decent actor. Like when he got a chance to do his little monologue stuff, I'm like, oh no, by kid acting standards, he was actually pretty decent. But early on, it was a little too like, is that voice coming out of that kid? Like they did their best to try and create like, what was Ryan Reynolds like as a little kid? Let's just give him a smart mouth, and this is what you end up with.
Yeah. And we got let's see, here we go. Gino says, Anthony, decline the free French bread that came with that area rug. I would have taken anything at that point, whether it was a bagel, a French bread. A churro would have been fantastic. But God, man, God. No, well, that's the thing, right? When your wife asks you for something specific, says, hey, I would really like this at the store while you're there, right?
That's not, I would really like. That's like, you better
it's,
come
hey,
home
it's,
with.
hey, I'm expecting that you're coming home with this. Like, my
if you
wife
come home
my wife
empty-handed.
she's the type of person, right, where I say, yes, I'm going to be getting bagels for you. I'm the type of person I'd walk in the door. She would have the toaster in her arm and butter in the other hand and be like, I'm ready for my bagels, right? And then I show up bagelless.
Yeah, no, she's like walking
Not
out the door and like,
legless.
I would definitely like to partake in those bagels you definitely have.
So I was I felt like a failure is what I felt like. But no, on top of that, my daughter, she got her first bouncy swing thing this weekend, right? So wait, let me see, what are you laughing about?
Poor Messina. I'm sorry. I don't do this to be rude. The problem is, like, I'm one of those kids who went to film school, so I'm real judgy, and I have certain expectations. And when stuff feels like very orchestrated or very manufactured, it doesn't fly well for me, especially if it has kind of a paint-by-numbers feel. So, yeah, I apologize. I would say for somebody who doesn't take their movies too seriously and just wants a fun way to make an hour and a half, 2 hours disappear, it's a fun time. It's wonderful. It's a light story. You're not going to be upset. And there's some good tear-jerker moments and stuff like that. But overall, it just kind of felt like, here's a story beat. Action. Here's a story beat. Action. Here's a story beat. Okay, we didn't really flesh out these characters super deep, but hey, you like this guy, right? Oh, it's kind of like a meeting of like people from the Marvel Universe. A little bit, but a little touch. And then we move on. And you're like, oh, it's over. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 out of 10. For me.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
My daughter, she got this this bouncy swing thing, right? I don't know how to describe it. It's called a jolly jump, not a jolly jumper. Jesus, gee. So what's Nick? What's those things called? Jolly jumper on the back end.
The little kid hopper thing.
It's a kid hopper.
Wait, is this the one that they like roll around in and they hop?
No.
Oh.
This has got like it's a trellis.
Or is it like a swing set system where it's like
a swing
taller
set system.
A-frame?
Yes, it's like a swing set system that has like this singular spring thing, and then you put her in this harness, and then she just jumps.
Okay, and it's like a little hoop around her with like the legs that go through.
No, there's no hoop. There's no hoop. It's just a. She honestly looks like she's going skydiving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. So how is she attached?
Through this whole harness system.
So instead of just giving them a seat they can easily climb in and out of, you literally have to like
she's
strap them in.
4 or 5 months. What do you think she's capable of doing?
No, like I'm talking like those little baby bouncer things. All they have to do is like stick their legs through like a seat, and then they're down in the seat.
No, we have one of those with the circular things.
Yeah.
We have one of those, right?
I was picturing that.
She's over that.
Oh,
she's over that, and
she wants the danger of like a full like
she's
theater production string
so
system.
Eventually, I'll like hook up some like eyelets or something like that to where she could do backflips or something, in the swing thing.
So you got a gymnast in the making.
Who knows?
All right,
but just loves it, dude. It's so cute. It's so funny. Like we turn on music, and she just bobs out, dude. She just dances and jumps up, and Katie got it used, right? Because every time I walk into the house now, I go, what's that toy thing right there? And
now you're pulling the, what car part did you get today?
What car part did you get today?
That she pulls on you, but for
and she always she never tells me the price of these things. She says, I got this one on Facebook Marketplace. It was used. It was a good deal. And so I'm like, what's the retail on one of those, right? More than you can afford, pal. Jolly Jumper, man.
It's I think like, I say Fisher Price.
So...
For Risher price.
Oh my God. G. Davis says, you just described the contraption in Dane's spare bedroom.
See, it's funnier because it's a spare.
Yeah, it is a spare. So she got that. She's loving that. But more and more stuff is appearing at my house. And I was telling the guys this the other day that I feel like me and my wife are losing. We only have one baby. We have one 5-month-old baby. And we're losing more and more control of the house because right now, Katie's mom has been kind of staying with us on and off, for the past a little while now, and just to kind of help out. And she's transitioning to her new job.
You gotta appreciate the help though.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, which is nice. And so she's been able to help out, but she works night shifts, right?
Okay.
And so we kind of have an extra person in the house for right now.
That's actually perfect. You just trade.
Yes, you'd think so, right? But she sleeps during the day. So what's happening is that more and more like things are just getting left on horizontal surfaces.
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting insane. And my dogs, for some reason, man, they're like, oh, we're not getting as much attention as before, so we're going to start taking out every toy we have and just start littering it around the house. So like I'm walking
so it's a
through,
rebellion.
dude. It is like it's like a field of landmines everywhere, right?
So it looks like a daycare center now.
It does look. It looks exactly like that. And
your beautiful home that you purchased not that long ago, and we're very proud of,
dude,
has now devolved into a child's plaything.
It has, and like the carpets need to be deep cleaned. So I need to like rent a carpet cleaner or hire a carpet cleaner to come out. There's just a lot of stuff that's just like it's all kind of adding up into like this one big thing of okay, you need to have a full deep clean. This goes back to the house cleaning thing we were talking about a month ago about how do people stay up on
your
it?
baseboards and all that.
How do people do it? It's insane. But yeah, I would say the I can't imagine, right? Because I was talking to Anthony about this, and he's like, just wait till you have 2 kids, man. Wait till you have 2 babies or 2 younger kids. He's like, then it really is hard. And I get it now, just because it's not necessarily because they're maybe not always putting their stuff away. It's just because maybe you don't want to put your own stuff away either. Yeah. And I'm like, I get lazy, and then I forget that I set that cup there on the counter, and then I grab another cup, and I forget about that cup, and next thing you know, I have 15 cups on the counter.
You learn eventually that it is much more efficient to clean up after yourself in the moment. Say that cup that you set down. Take it with you on the way over to the sink. Drop it off or something.
Oh, no, I don't
Rather
think
than leaving
like
it
that.
out on a table or other horizontal surface.
No, Dane,
it
I
is
don't think
much
like
less
that.
work than watching the things accumulate over time and become an absolute
No, it's the same way. It's the same way of when I detail something, right? I'm like, oh, gotta grab another towel, right? The last towel was fine. It's just sitting over there on the other side of the... I'm like, oh, that's a long walk over there to that side of the garage. I'd rather just grab a new towel. Or it's like, where did I put my polisher? I'm going to set it down over there and make multiple trips over there in between walking for no reason at all.
Ivan would be so disappointed.
Super inefficient. But same thing I do in my house sometimes. It's not good. But anyway, that was pretty much it, though. I mean, it was a good weekend. It was chill. I got a lot of stuff done, though, at the same time. I really want to do something with the garage soon. Like I said, I'm getting antsy. I really would love to do something related to garage flooring, something related to paint stuff. I know that I've been seeing all the cool stuff that, people from Obsessed Garage have been doing. I watched that video the other day of Matt going over, or a live stream of him going over and doing some stuff up here in Idaho, which is super cool, up in Coeur d'Alene. That's northern Idaho for anybody interested.
I was going to say, it was unfortunate.
Us.
We couldn't have him come hang out because that is hours and hours and hours away from us.
Yeah. But
still cool.
Just cool to see. He was over in our great state. But seeing that kind of stuff, I'm getting more and more motivated to do something. I really would like to, now that I have a lot of that extra MDF out of my house, I would really like to get my space set up in front of my corner where the Evo is, right? In front of that, I have that husky kind of table, and then I have my 2 big side, whatever the heck you want cabinets, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I want to get the TV mounted in the middle of that. Okay. But I'm also debating, am I actually going to use the TV if I mount a TV in the middle of that?
I mean, it's mostly...
Because if I am in the garage working on something, I am making something that will be on a TV.
Yeah.
Or on a handheld device. So So do I want to have something on in the background, or does that even make sense other than to set the ambiance?
More often than not, those TVs, usually a smart TV, something simple, goes up there. It's because those people like watching a lot of YouTube or something along those lines, where they can play an instructional video in the background while they work, or play a podcast that they like to listen to. It's really nothing that can't be achieved with like a Sonos speaker or other Bluetooth speaker that you just put onto a tabletop and listen to. You can have much the same effect playing on a speaker through your phone.
The position, though, because over there on the side
but it's
of
the
my
aesthetics
garage,
that people are after.
Over there on the side of my garage, I don't have enough room to just be over there, right? Because there's a whole car in that bay with like 4 feet in between that and the wall.
Sure.
So there you go. This is a perfect example.
So the TV is going to go above that that table.
The table, right? So right where the IK sprayers are, there would be a 36-inch right in between that. I got 36-inch. That'd probably make the most sense. So I'd put a the wall mount in between there.
Yeah.
But does that make sense though? Because it's on a curve mount, right? So I could turn it towards me. It's just, what am I going to actually be watching?
That's what I'm saying. The people
What am I
usually have.
What's the whole? What I don't even know why I'm putting a TV there. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Unless you're hosting like
why is that
a barbecue and everyone's hanging out in your
already?
garage,
Yeah.
or you're working out there and you want to have something playing in the background. Say, for example, you're listening to us here on the podcast or some other podcast that you like. That's really only it. Or, somebody has the news playing in the background or something like that. Those are typically the only reasons why. I mean, I've been to some places where like somebody will just have like music videos playing on loop or something like that, just like an MTV style channel or Vivo or something playing on there. I kind of get that, whatever. But it's like it's nothing you can't do minus the visual element by just having your phone hooked up to a Bluetooth speaker or a good audio system piped around your room. I feel an audio system has more benefit in a garage than a video system does.
I know. I guess what I'm trying to say, Dane. How do I put it?
Obviously, both is great, but likelihood you'll use the audio way more.
So when I'm in my garage, I'm usually there doing something with a camera. Right.
Well, G. Davis has a point here. So you're running ADA videos on your TV in there with the doors open, so all your neighbors know exactly what's up here. So like they get it.
Yeah, they're gonna say, "Who's that guy on the TV?" I say, "I have no freaking idea."
Wow, he sounds just like you.
I'm like, "Nope, not at me. Definitely
Different
not.
voice.
Definitely somebody else." So
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm saying I'm not when I'm in the garage and I'm like washing or doing a rinseless wash. I guess I don't know what I'm listening to. Like I'll listen to music or I'll listen to like a movie.
But you do listen to something.
If I'm detailing something.
Yeah, your thing is always listening to movies.
I like listening to things because why would I have something on TV? I'm not going to watch it. It's just going to be there creating an ambiance, which I might like. I don't know. It's just I feel like I'm going to get the TV up there, be like, wow, I did it. And then it's just going to collect a bunch of dust.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to say, where's the remote for the stupid TV?
I'm here to tell you that is exactly what will happen. Unless you come up with excuses to gather in the garage with friends or other people and make it a thing, like a staple in the background that people can turn to.
And that's where a TV, in all honesty, in my garage, in my opinion, if you have a 3-car garage, right? Yeah. My third bay being the smallest and tightest with the least amount of room, right? That I'm not in because there's a car there. Why wouldn't the TV go in the 2-bay area on the wall in front of the 2-bay where there is the most amount of room and the most amount of space and I spend the most amount of time?
Yeah. No, that.
But then there's a TV right in the middle of the wall, right? That not aesthetically pleasing because it doesn't have the same setup.
Yeah.
So
Nick just said.
So Nick says that get a projector with a drop down.
A good projector costs way more than a TV.
I'm just not gonna. I'm just not gonna do that. It seems like a lot of work to say. Well, I better turn on the projector before I start washing my car.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And you click it.
Yeah.
Comes down and you're like, all right, we're ready.
All right. So, I could project it on the wall. But
weird. A spider's been living in there.
I don't know. The idea of what I wanted to do made a lot more sense than now I'm looking at it thinking, how can I best utilize all the space in my garage by doing this? Really, honestly, if the Evo wasn't in there, and that was a whole motorcycle bay over there with 2 motorcycle lifts right next to each other.
That would be pretty cool.
That would look so awesome, right?
That would.
But then that would mean I would have to. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, no, the sacrifices to be made just don't.
There would be sacrifices.
They don't compute. Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a bagel situation is what it would be.
I'm sorry, sir. We have to take this.
No. Bring it back.
Give it back, sir. It's either both or nothing. Yeah. Well, you didn't explain that.
Yeah. Is it too late? It is too late. Sorry, man.
You've made your choice.
That's all I got. So that was my weekend. I'll figure out the garage stuff here pretty soon. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So take it away, Dane. Lastly, go to the sale. Check out the sale.
Yes.
Ragcompany.com, right? Lucky Sevens. Pick up some premium detailing products in our mystery bags.
Nick pull it up on the screen once more? Here we go. Look at that.
That is such a cool banner, man.
Very cool. I feel like I'm in a tattoo parlor right now.
I feel like I should go get a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
So can we click on that? St. Patrick's Day 7777.
It's a lot of 7s.
Can you click on the listing there? There we go. Scroll down. Oh, man. Heck yeah. 77.77.
Do you feel
lucky, Punk? I'm feeling lucky, man. Well, so pull that lever, right? Because you get a sticker. That sticker that you see at the top there comes with every Rag Company mystery bag order.
I saw that on the back of Nate's truck, and I remember when he was designing it, and I was like, that's a fun, different one. I like that.
That's like way different than anything we've ever had.
I dig it, though. I think that with a good design, you should be willing to play with your logo, even if it ends up resembling nothing of the original.
Yeah.
And as the person who designed the original TRC logo, I fully support that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I agree, Dane. So, yeah, that's it, man. So pick up a mystery bag. Stay tuned again for TRCMA here in 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks exactly.
Yes.
Can't wait for my mystery bag to arrive. So good I ordered 2. Andre, thank you. That's what we like to hear, right?
Yeah. And by the way, TRCMA.com is a website that we have created.
Yeah.
Starting with the last TRCMA, but this year, you can also go there. You can see a lineup, get the other details. Very helpful. And as we get closer to the actual show, you'll see more details appearing on the site that kind of give you greater insight. So look forward to that. Good fun. And then G. Davis just making a joke about losing money at a casino, but I think we are pretty well set. So, guys, thank you so much. I'll pop G's comment on the screen here. Welcome. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll catch up with you here on Q&A Thursday. But also, you know what? I should mention, doing a little live detail session tomorrow.
We are.
So that is something that is happening. Now, I don't recall, is Levi making it for this one? Or
I have no idea. It could just be me, guys.
Okay. Well.
But what we'll be doing tomorrow, live detail on a motorcycle, showing you guys how to clean up a motorcycle properly and how to do it safely. We'll be doing that live tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Yeah. Normally 2 p.m. is our sweet spot, so we go for that.
So join us. We're going to be going to Carl's Cycle Sales today to go pick out a bike, find something cool, right? I'm kind of hoping maybe for something pretty bro-y, maybe Gixxer 1000.
Oh,
right?
you're going the Gixxer route.
Something like that. Maybe we'll find a classic, right? Depends. If Levi joins me, he'll be bringing a classic. If it's just me, chances are I'll be going for something sporty. So
okay. Well, guys, thanks again. We will catch up with you tomorrow during the live detail. So have a great one. We'll see you over on the Rag Company main channel tomorrow. Adios.
See ya.